Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Mm.
Today we're going beyond the usual headlines and really diving into something fascinating.
Yeah.
A single video analysis
Uh-huh.
about a new AI called DeepSeek
Right.
that has the potential to completely change how we think about investing.
Yeah, it's a bit of a paradigm shift. We're not just talking about a new piece of tech.
Right.
Though DeepSeek is certainly intriguing on its own.
Yeah.
It's a Chinese open source AI,
Okay.
similar to ChatGPT, but developed at a fraction of the cost.
Wow.
What's caught my attention is how this changes the game for investors,
Okay.
especially when we consider AI alongside Bitcoin and energy.
Yeah, the video calls it Trifecta.
Exactly.
I'm definitely intrigued, but let's start with DeepSeek itself.
Sure.
What exactly is it about this new AI that sent shockwaves through the market?
Whoa.
I saw that stock chart for NVIDIA in the video,
Yeah.
and wow, that drop was something else.
It was a visual representation of a major reality check.
Yeah.
NVIDIA, a company many saw as a leader in AI space,
Right.
lost $600 billion in value.
Oh my goodness.
Their largest single-day drop ever.
Wow.
The NASDAQ itself even took a hit, dropping around 3%.
Jeez.
DeepSeek didn't just cause a dip, it caused a seismic shift in investor confidence.
$600 billion? That's
Yeah.
an eye-watering figure.
It is.
But what did DeepSeek actually do
Right.
to trigger such a massive reaction?
It exposed a flaw in a core assumption driving investment in the AI sector.
Okay.
Investors were betting on companies like NVIDIA
Right.
because of their perceived moat,
Okay.
a significant competitive advantage that comes from the massive costs associated with developing advanced AI. They poured money into companies believed to have a corner on the specialized chips and infrastructure needed for AI development,
Right.
assuming that the high barrier to entry would protect those companies from competition.
So the thinking was, the more expensive it is to develop,
Yes.
the fewer players can compete,
Right.
giving those already in the game a major advantage.
Exactly. But DeepSeek, developed with significantly lower resource investment, completely upends that assumption.
Huh.
It uses a novel approach to data processing and algorithm design, which allows it to achieve comparable performance with far less computational power.
Interesting.
This means the moat, the barrier to entry, might not be as insurmountable as we thought.
That's where the panic sets in, right?
Yeah.
If AI can be developed this efficiently,
Mm-hmm.
that throws a wrench into the whole investment strategy of betting on those big players.
I think so.
It makes you wonder if giants like NVIDIA aren't the safe haven we thought they were.
Right.
Where should we be looking to store wealth? I mean, we've all been told to invest in the stock market, diversify, ride the waves.
Yeah.
But if DeepSeek is any indication, those waves might be getting a lot more unpredictable.
That's the core question the video analysis grapples with. Is everything we've been told about the markets a flat-out lie?
Oh.
Now, that might sound a bit dramatic, but it's designed to make us question our assumptions.
Right.
The rules of the game might be changing, and clinging to outdated investment strategies could leave you high and dry.
That's a sobering thought, especially when you consider that even diversifying with an index fund like the NASDAQ, as many recommend,
Right.
might not be enough to weather the storm of technological disruption. I mean, this is the NASDAQ you were talking about.
Right.
And even it felt the impact of DeepSeek.
You're right. It underscores the volatility of traditional markets.
Yeah.
It's also important to remember that traditional measures of value, like the US dollar, aren't as stable as we tend to think.
Right.
The video quotes economist Levin Mises,
Okay.
who says, "In the world of economics, there is no such thing as a constant. Currency values can fluctuate wildly, manipulated by government policies and inflationary pressures."
So we have the traditional investment strategies, those safe bets in the stock market, suddenly looking a lot less reliable in the face of this kind of rapid technological change.
Yeah.
And then there's our money itself, our fiat currencies,
Right.
which are inherently volatile and subject to all sorts of forces outside our control. It's a bit unsettling, to say the least.
It certainly highlights the need for a new way of thinking about value,
Yeah.
a new way of preserving wealth in a world where the old rules no longer apply. This is where the video introduces a potential solution:
Okay.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Okay, I'm listening.
Mm-hmm.
Is this where the DeepSeek disruption connects to the world of cryptocurrency?
Yes.
Help me understand this connection.
Okay.
Sometimes I feel like I need a crypto decoder ring just to follow along.
Well, think back to how DeepSeek disrupted the AI landscape.
Okay.
It challenged those assumptions about the moat.
Right.
It found a way to achieve high performance without the exorbitant costs.
Mm-hmm.
Now think about Bitcoin.
Okay.
It has a fixed supply of 21 million coins.
Right.
A finite resource.
Got it.
No one can create more Bitcoin no matter how much money or computing power they throw at it.
Mm.
And it's decentralized, operating outside the control of any government or institution. That makes it fundamentally different from a company like NVIDIA, which can be outmaneuvered or undercut by competitors, even if those competitors are coming from unexpected places like DeepSeek did.
So you're saying in a world where DeepSeek-like disruptions are becoming more frequent, Bitcoin has a built-in resilience, a safeguard against that kind of instability.
Precisely. Bitcoin offers a constant in a world of variables. It can't be manipulated or devalued in the same way that fiat currencies can.
Okay.
It's a hedge against both technological disruption and economic uncertainty.
Interesting.
And that brings us to the trifecta concept the video proposes.
Okay.
The idea that AI, Bitcoin, and energy will be the defining forces in this new landscape.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. AI, Bitcoin, and energy. A power triangle for the future.
That's right.
I'm ready to dive in and unpack this trifecta.
It's a fascinating framework for understanding the forces shaping our world. We've seen how AI, as demonstrated by DeepSeek, is a potent driver of growth and efficiency.
Right.
But it also brings disruptive potential. Then we have Bitcoin, a financial hedge, a store of value that resists the volatility we see in traditional markets. And underpinning both of these is energy, the fuel that powers the massive computing resources needed for both AI development and the Bitcoin network.
So it's a symbiotic relationship. You need all three elements for this new paradigm to function.
Exactly. And it represents a major shift in how we think about technology, finance, and even the future of our world.
Wow. This has definitely given me a lot to think about. It feels like we're on the cusp of something truly groundbreaking.
We are, and I think this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, boy.
There's so much more to explore when it comes to this trifecta and its implications.
Well, then you know what that means.
What's that?
We'll have to do another deep dive to really unpack it all. But for now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about what this all means for you, the listener. How does this new paradigm affect your world? We'll explore that in just a bit.
Sounds good. So where do we go from here? Does DeepSeek signal a need to rethink our entire approach to investing and wealth preservation? It's a question we all need to be asking ourselves.
It certainly raises some big questions. I wouldn't venture to give any financial advice, but this deep dive has definitely got me thinking about my own portfolio in a whole new light.
And that's the key takeaway here. We're not offering specific investment strategies, but rather a new lens through which to view the rapidly changing world around us.
Right.
The old assumptions about what constitutes a safe investment, the traditional strategies we've been taught to rely on, those might not hold up as well in a world where technological disruption is becoming the norm.
It's like the rule book is being rewritten right before our eyes.
Yeah.
And if we're not paying attention, we're going to miss those crucial updates.
Yeah.
Speaking of updates.
Yeah.
Let's revisit this AI, Bitcoin, energy trifecta.
Yeah.
I understand the need for a hedge, something like Bitcoin, to counterbalance the volatility of traditional markets. But what about the energy piece of this puzzle?
Right.
How does that fit into the equation?
The energy component is absolutely crucial. Think about the sheer computing power required for both AI, as we saw with DeepSeek, and Bitcoin. As these technologies continue to advance and their adoption grows, so too will their energy demands.
So is that where the opportunity lies?
Potentially.
Investing in energy?
Yeah.
Whether it's renewable sources, new energy storage technologies, even traditional energy companies, as a way to capitalize on this shift towards a more energy-intensive digital future.
It's certainly a possibility worth considering. While the source material doesn't delve into specific investment strategies, it does emphasize energy as an essential element of this emerging paradigm. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
If AI and Bitcoin are the engines driving us forward, then energy is the fuel that keeps those engines running.
I'm starting to see how these pieces fit together. This trifecta idea isn't just some abstract concept.
No.
It's a framework for understanding the interconnected forces shaping our world. It's a bit daunting, to be honest, but also exciting.
What's fascinating to me is that this goes beyond just technology or finance. It's about recognizing those fundamental shifts happening at a global level. We're in the midst of a massive transition,
Hmm.
and the real winners will be those who can adapt, those who can spot the opportunities hidden within what might seem like chaos to others.
It's like we're standing at the edge of a new frontier, peering into the unknown. A little scary, sure,
Yeah.
but also incredibly exhilarating.
Mm.
What I'm taking away from this is that knowledge is power. The more we understand these underlying trends, the better equipped we'll be to navigate the changes and make informed decisions.
Absolutely. We can't control what the future holds, but we can control how we respond to it.
Right.
And that begins with being informed, questioning our assumptions, and remaining open to new ideas. This DeepSeek situation is a perfect illustration of why that's so important.
It definitely highlights the need to stay curious and keep learning. This is a conversation that's just beginning.
Yeah.
And we all have a role to play in shaping it. What I'd love to know is, what stood out to you, our listener, in this DeepSeek story?
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Does the idea of this AI Bitcoin energy trifecta resonate with you?
What do you think?
How are you thinking about navigating this new world we're entering?
We encourage you to share your thoughts, your questions, your insights. This isn't a solo journey. It's a collective exploration. We're all figuring this out together.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so compelling.
And who knows, maybe one of you listening will be the next innovator to disrupt the market and change the game entirely.
Yeah.
After all, if DeepSeek can come out of nowhere and shake things up,
Exactly.
anything is possible.
That's the beauty of it all, isn't it?
Yeah.
In a world that's constantly evolving, the potential for innovation is limitless. But that potential is only realized when we embrace curiosity, challenge the status quo, and remain open to the unexpected.
You know, as we're talking about this, it strikes me that DeepSeek isn't just about AI.
Right.
It's a symptom of a much larger trend, this increasing interconnectedness of our world.
Yeah.
We have a Chinese AI program sending ripples through the U.S. stock market, impacting global investments,
Wow, yeah.
and ultimately forcing us to rethink our fundamental assumptions about value and wealth.
It really underscores the fact that we can no longer afford to think in silos: technology, finance, energy.
Yeah.
They're all intertwined, each influencing the others in a complex web of relationships. What happens in one corner of the world can have far-reaching consequences, as DeepSeek so aptly demonstrated.
And the speed at which those consequences unfold is only accelerating. Who could have predicted even a year ago that a relatively unknown AI program could cause such a massive disruption in a matter of days?
It begs the question,
Yeah.
how do we prepare for a future that's so unpredictable?
Right. How do we make informed decisions, whether they're financial or otherwise, when the ground beneath our feet seems to be constantly shifting?
It can feel overwhelming, absolutely. But I think one crucial takeaway from our deep dive today is that knowledge is our most valuable asset. The more we understand these underlying trends, the better equipped we'll be to navigate the uncertainty and make choices that align with our goals.
I couldn't agree more. We can't control the future, but we can control how we respond to it. And that starts with being informed, questioning our assumptions, and remaining open to those aha moments that challenge our perspectives.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into DeepSeek and the implications of this AI Bitcoin energy trifecta, I think the question we're left with is this the beginning of a fundamental shift in the global landscape? Is it the new paradigm we need to grasp in order to thrive in the years to come? It's a compelling possibility. And whether this specific prediction unfolds exactly as described is almost beside the point. What's clear is that we're at a pivotal moment in history, and the need to adapt, to learn, and to evolve has never been greater.
So to our listeners, we issue this challenge. Don't just take our word for it. Do your own research. Explore these ideas further and come to your own conclusions. The future is being written right now.
Right.
And you have a voice in shaping it.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.
It really feels like this DeepSeek story is a wake-up call. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day headlines.
Yeah.
But this situation forces us to zoom out and see the bigger picture.
Right.
What other assumptions might we be clinging to that are about to be disrupted?
That's the key question, isn't it? And this is where that trifecta concept becomes so valuable.
Right.
If we can understand the interplay of AI, Bitcoin, and energy, we might be able to anticipate those disruptions, maybe even get ahead of the curve.
So let's dive a bit deeper into this trifecta.
Yeah.
We've touched on each element individually. But how do they work together? What does this new paradigm actually look like in practice?
Imagine a world where AI is constantly optimizing processes, driving efficiency in every sector imaginable.
Okay.
This requires immense computing power, which, as we've discussed,
Yeah.
translates to a massive demand for energy.
Yeah.
But alongside that AI revolution, you have Bitcoin acting as a stabilizing force, a financial hedge against the volatility that inevitably comes with such rapid advancement.
So Bitcoin in this scenario isn't just a speculative asset.
Right.
It's a foundational element of the new economy. It's what gives us a stable footing amidst all the change.
Exactly. And because Bitcoin itself requires energy-intensive computation,
Uh-huh.
it further drives the need for reliable and sustainable energy sources. This creates a positive feedback loop where advancements in energy technology benefit both the AI and Bitcoin ecosystems.
It's almost like a self-reinforcing cycle, each element propelling the others forward. But is it really possible for this trifecta to create a more stable, more equitable future? There's a lot of skepticism around both AI and Bitcoin, and for good reason.
That skepticism is healthy.
Yeah.
We should always approach new technologies with a critical eye.
Of course.
But the potential here is undeniable. Imagine a world where AI-powered solutions are tackling global challenges from climate change to healthcare, all while operating on a decentralized and secure financial infrastructure powered by Bitcoin.
Okay.
And imagine the energy demands of this new world being met by clean, renewable sources driving us towards a more sustainable future.
That's a compelling vision,
Yeah.
but it also sounds incredibly complex.
Yeah.
How do we even begin to wrap our heads around such a massive shift, let alone position ourselves to benefit from it?
The first step, as we've been emphasizing throughout this deep dive,
Great.
is to stay informed. Keep
Yeah.
learning, keep asking questions, and keep challenging your assumptions. Don't be afraid to dive into these topics, even if they seem intimidating at first.
This is where that deep dive mentality comes in, right? It's not just the name of our show. It's a way of approaching the world. We need to be willing to go beyond the surface, to dig deeper and connect the dots.
Absolutely. And remember, this isn't just about individual gain. The more people understand these emerging trends, the better equipped we'll be collectively to navigate the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. This is a conversation we need to be having at every level of society.
So to our listeners, we leave you with this final thought. Don't be passive observers in this unfolding story. Engage with these ideas, discuss them with your friends and family, and let's shape this future together.
Because the future, as DeepSeek so vividly demonstrated, is arriving faster than we ever imagined.
Right.
And the choices we make today will determine what that future looks like.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and until next time, keep exploring.